Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, asked if Trevor, he tweeted this, asked if Trevor Lawrence has a legitimate shot to play Sunday versus Cleveland. Peterson said he's not going to put a timetable on it and reiterates they'll see how he looks in a couple of days. That's a no.
There's no way.
So he won't be
There's
playing.
no way.
That's a no to me.
Plant leg with a high ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
You just never know how high the ankle sprain is on the
Right.
high ankle. It seems like there are some low high ankle sprains these days. You never know. But I wouldn't expect that he's going to play, and the line is 3.5.
And here's the injury. Brutal. Not.
This is the third time he's had one of these. I know it's just flukish luck, and he must have incredible flexibility. He had a terrible one against the Lions.
Legitimate, like, jokes aside, is that on the offensive lineman for not being away? I mean, he gets blown off of his block there, right? But like,
it's a fast game. I mean, it's not a good rep from the offensive lineman, but I think Lawrence will be the first to tell you that, like, unfortunately, these things happen in football.
I like, and somebody else tweeted this out, but there's 8 billion golf carts in Florida, and they couldn't find one to, like, Trevor. They made Trevor Lawrence limp off.
Yeah,
like,
it
like
was
he's
weird.
Right?
It's like a war scene.
Apparently, sometimes when you do an ankle, like, the people do want to walk it off a little bit, and Lawrence might have just turned down the cart, but it's a little bit strange that you just don't give your franchise quarterback
a long
cart.
way.
Yeah.
Long way. They're like, hey, no, keep putting pressure on it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think your natural reaction is, like, I imagine a quarterback in that moment was like, no cart. Like, no cart. And maybe someone was like, all right, no cart, I guess.
Yeah, he'll just carry you.
Little strange.
but once they got out of the stadium, how about a cart?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if you
be
unfortunately
cart guy.
lost Trevor Lawrence last night, we're here to help with quarterback waiver targets. You see Joshua Dobbs available in 55% of leagues. Jameis Winston against the Panthers available in almost every league. Gardner Minshew. There's some people on this desk that recommended streaming Gardner Minshew last week, and he was fine. And then Joe Flacco against Jacksonville as well here, Matthew.
Look, I mean, we just saw Jake Browning. By the way, Jake Browning should be on this list too. I mean, like, we'll talk about that coming up. But Browning looked good. Flacco plays the Jaguars. He had 44 pass attempts in his what?
Pete's cooking.
Pete's cooking. He just said it now. We should have discussed this in the meeting.
Pete's having his Jordan Love game right now.
It's been a good month
from the other
anyway.
night. Yeah, it's been a really good
high
stretch.
APA per play.
Yes.
Second most yards per pass attempt over the last 4 weeks. The Jaguars allow the second most yards per pass attempt. They've given up at least 2 touchdown passes 3 of the last 4. So Joe Flacco, in a game in which he should be throwing, has a nice matchup as well. We talked about Minshew as well. 40 passing attempts or 250 passing yards in back-to-back games. Bengals allow the second most passing yards per game in that one. Going up the list, we're going. Dobby is, the only question on Dobby was, is he going to keep the job?
Yeah.
But it appears that he is. He's going to be the starting quarterback of the Vikings. He'd be number one.
You love his
facing
schedule.
Las Vegas. Oh,
look at that schedule.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Raiders, and then
Bengals
on
a Saturday.
Right.
Detroit and Green
and then
Bay.
Detroit and Green Bay.
And then Detroit again. So that's like,
If you're without a quarterback and you're making the playoffs, I'm thinking Josh Dobbs. If I have a
Raiders
shot
have
at him.
allowed 290 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns in back-to-back games as well. Dobby off the bye gets Justin Jefferson back.
Yeah.
So we sort of like that. And famous Jameis. We'll see what happens with Derek Carr dealing with a concussion. He's got he's got a rib injury as well. But like, Jameis is always a roller coaster. But he's totally F it. Olave's down there somewhere, and should be a good matchup at home against the Carolina Panthers.
Just quickly before we move on, Minshew, great matchup against the Bengals. Also going to be rain and 21 mile per hour winds in Cincinnati on Sunday, so that dampens it a bit.
Yeah, and then I would have Browning at 5th here. I mean, again, they're playing the Colts. The Colts are pretty good defense as well, and it was a nice game for Jake Browning, but just in terms of the matchup. But look, we'll talk about Browning coming up, but I do think Browning is a viable guy as well, again, depending on how deep your league is. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.